hacking as a very known term today. Even the it's a buzz of internet industry. But what is hacking actually? In cyber world or in generally, from common man's perspective, hacking is nothing but unauthorized access to someone's computer resources. So anybody is taking access to your Facebook, your account, your Gmail account or whatever without your permissions into your computer, into your mobile, in your face, whatever devices or your page and all this. So this is an undesired access, or we can call it a trespass. So just like the trespassing into our land and all this in physical world, it is also same in the same parlance. It is a trespassing into our virtual world without our permissions, and that is hacking. Now hacking, technically speaking, hacking is nothing but accessing different kind of informations, collecting different kind of informations of the weakness or vulnerabilities of a system, and then with the help of these informations which is obtained regarding the weakness, vulnerabilities, the flaws in the system, use some attacking softwares or tools like Metasploit and others, and gaining access, and after gaining access doing all sort of damages, criminal activities and other activities which is resulted into huge amount of damage to others. So this is the entire parlance or entire gamuts of what is hacking and all this. But one important point in the world of hacking is that whether the hacking is unethical or the hacking is ethical. So two terms are been used repeatedly, whether it is ethical and what is unethical. Now illegal thing is always unethical, but always not every ethical or unethical issues you find all the ethical and unethical issues in a codified law. So some of there we have codified law in our Information Technology Act in India, that is our cyber law. We're going to discuss today, and I'll request you to please watch this video. It's going to be a very interesting video, because I'm going to discuss about what is hacking, what is Indian hacking law, what are the procedures of a hacking, and the most important thing is that who are the ethical hacker, and whether in Indian law the so-called ethical hackers we found in our everyday parlance in media and other part, are they at all ethical hacker? Who gave them the license or permission to be called as ethical hacker? Or what are the faith and locus standi of the self-styled ethical hackers in India? Because India lacks any kind of law which support these persons, these private individuals who are boasting themselves to be the ethical hacker. I must make this point clear, that whatever I am going to discuss is sole my opinion, and whatever law and whatever I discuss about from the sources existing. So anybody can be not in agreement with what I am opining, so that is, I respect their opinion and all this. But what I express through this video is that on my own opinion with respect to the existing law in India and what is my understanding till date. Please watch this video till the end, and please again I am requesting you to be connected with you. Please subscribe into the channel so that I can get the notifications of the new videos which is forthcoming. So friends, hacking is gaining informations of the weakness of a system and getting into another's computer resources without his or her permission. It is criminal trespass into others' computer resources. So if you take the Indian Penal Code concept, that is criminal trespass, and if it is a hacking in offense perspective, then it is obviously a criminal trespass into our virtual resources without our permission. And there are three types of hackers generally, and there are others also, but prominently there are three types of hackers, and one is white hat hackers, and these people are actually ethical hackers. They are using their hacking technologies for the better purpose, for the good purpose, for the purpose of investigation, for the purpose of cracking the crime, and for the purpose of cyber security of a organization. So these are the people who should be called and who use these technicalities of hacking for the good purpose. And then there we can have grey hat hackers. So these grey hat hackers are somehow very confusing persons. They sometimes do the good, sometimes they are hacked for the bad purpose. And there we also have the black hat hackers. These black hat hackers are the actually crackers in Indian law, and these people are hacking with a dishonest and fraudulent motive, and their purpose is bad, and that's why they are called the black hat hackers. There are many steps of hacking, and generally there are 5 steps. But one thing I must say, I am not imparting any knowledge of how to hack and all this. Keep it in mind that unauthorized access or the hacking without somebody's permissions or other is a crime in India and other part of the world. So one thing I must say that what I have discussed in this video regarding the hacking and all this, these are all learning purpose, academic purpose. Unauthorized accessing without the permissions of some owners is an offense in any part of the world, including India. So one important thing is that when somebody wants to ethically hack a system or helps the investigating agencies and other lawfully, they are doing it lawfully, lawful hacking and all this, in that case there are 5 steps from the beginning to the end. But one thing you must keep in your mind, that before you want to enter into anybody's systems and others, technically you can understand that you have to make yourself anonymous, because otherwise you can be caught and all these things. So in doing hacking there are generally 5 steps prevalent in the world. One is the reconnaissance. So reconnaissance is actually gathering the informations. It's where the hacker tries to collect whatever informations about the target. So hacker has got a target, and before targeting the hacker tries to collect as much as information possible so that he can assess on that those informations. So these information may be of the better part or the bad part, weakness, vulnerabilities and everything about a system or about a networking system. So that's the first step of hacking, and that is called the reconnaissance. So after the reconnaissance we have scanning. So in scanning, already data which is collected in first step, after the first step of reconnaissance, that is the gathering of informations. Now we are entering the second step, and that is scanning. So the scanning is to scan all those data which has been collected in the step 1, that is reconnaissance, and after going analyzing and scanning those data, the hacker or the expert can assess the system, its weakness, its strong points and everything. So the scanning is actually the scanning of the data which has been gathered and collected in reconnaissance stage. The next step is gaining access. So after getting the weakness and the target area, the hacker then starts use different software tools in getting, say for example, phishing attack or the Metasploit, that is pen testing softwares like this, and they are going to use this to gaining access into the system. After gaining access into the system, the fourth step is to maintaining access. So maintaining access means the hacker enters into the targeted system in the third step, and after entering into the system they remain in the system and collect the data and do whatever their intention in entering into the system, and even they take this platform or this system as a base system from which they initiate launch attack on other system. So this is their base point where from there they may launch different type of crime on the virtual world. So this is the maintaining access. Then comes the covering or clearing the track. So this is say for example, I already told, whenever somebody wants to target a system, he or she wants to try make him or her absolutely anonymous, and he or she has to cover the track by which he enters into the system, targeted system. So changing the IPs, changing the MAC, and all these different other procedures are available for covering the track, and it is one of the tricky part of a good hacker, that how to cover himself or herself, and after the commission of the thing, how to clear all the track and all this, so that he may not be caught. So this is the 5 standard procedure. And again, I am telling that unauthorized hacking or unauthorized access to anybody's system is a criminal offense in India and other part of the world. So my viewer, so friends, keep it in mind. What is the scenario in India in case of cyber attacks, especially related to hacking and all this? So if you go by the Niti Aayog report, there are some important findings we're going to get. One is that India is the world's 3rd largest internet user after USA and China, and by the year 2020 India will have 730 million internet user. By the year 2020 India will have 730 million internet user as per this report. And the most important thing in today's discussion is that 64% of the breaches or threats are actually resulted from hacking. Point about it, that there is a huge amount of job requirement or demand of trained manpower in the industry, and as per this Niti Aayog report, there are acute shortage of this cyber security resource person. Norton report the countries who are affected by the targeted attacks between 2015 to 2017. The highest affected country is USA, and then comes the highest affected country is USA, and then comes India. Targeted from the perspective of law, if we go by our Information Technology Act, which is the backbone of our cyber law in India, there are 2 type of irregularities, and all these cyber breaches are being taken into 2 types. One is contravention and other is offense. So one high courts in India first time try to differentiate and try to define what is hacking, and a new term was coined, that is called cracking or cracker. So hacker and cracker was defined in that judgment. Please keep it in mind that if somebody enter into someone's account, computer resources, device, and whatever, unauthorized, without permission, there are 2 parts, and if they take access into it but without fraudulent and dishonest motive, that is a contravention. And if that happen, and if there is any casualty or damage because of that activity, the person who aggrieved can go and file for a complaint before the cyber adjudicator for their relief. And if there is any fraudulent and dishonest motive as per section 66 of Information Technology Act, then there are provisions for 3 years imprisonment and or with fines up to 5 lakh rupees. So this is our Indian hacking law, and with respect to USA hacking law, we have in USA they have the law, it's called Securely Protect Yourself Against Cyber Trespass Act, also called SPY Act. In Indian perspective, as I have already told, it is Information Technology Act, especially section 66 and section 43. 16. So going through the 43 and 66, it is clear now 43 is a contravention and 66 is an offense, and the difference between 43 and 66 is that 66 has the additional 2 point, any of one, either that 43 the commission of the contravention of 43 will be there, and in addition to the contravention of 43 there has to be a dishonest or fraudulent motive into it, and then it will become an offense. Section 43 for relief of any kind of access into your computer and damages and consequent upon and all this, you can go for a relief to the cyber adjudicator up to 5 crore rupees. And I was going to discuss about the details of working, the provisions of law under Indian law, Information Technology Act on cyber adjudications in a separate video. Policy. In the National Cyber Security Policy 2013, in the objective clause, in para number 8, it was stated, one of the objective of the National Cyber Security Policy 2013 was to create a workforce of 5 lakh professionals skilled in cyber security in the next 5 years. So that was the goal of drafting this policy, that we in India need 5 lakh professionals who are trained or skilled in cyber security, who can resist this the menace of hacking and other type of cyber crime. So now the very important question, that who are ethical hacker in India? You're going to find that there are people who are having institutions, and they are training the people, and they're giving ad that ethical hacker, they are going to train ethical hackers, or they're going to make the ethical hacker. But I differ in this point, to be said that in India, no individual or private individual can call himself or herself as a ethical hacker. And in India, the investigating agencies or the law enforcement agencies, those are the lawful purpose which is laid down in different statutes. Say for example, in Criminal Procedure Code and any other code of investigations or their procedures laid down, we're going to find that as because in a cognizable case or like this, the investigating agency has the power to enter into any premises. And if we are going to take section 80 of Information Technology Act, we are going to see that an inspector rank officer has a power on the basis of mere suspicion, that a crime related to IT Act has already been committed, is being committed and about to be committed. He can enter into the PO, search and arrest and do the etc. So in the same way, if we implement the same concept in the virtual world, an investigating officer may in their lawful investigation, just like the lawful interception they are doing in light of Indian Telegraph Act section 5 subsection 2, an investigating officer can enter into a system and look into what is laid down there, where is the flaws and all this. But in India, our officers who are investigating, who are doing and cracking the crimes, are not always well trained in this sphere. So there is high requirement of these technical people who are expert or adept to run any pen testing. So finally, we see that in one side there are a lot of cyber security incidents, there are a lot of hacking incidents, lot of cyber security breaches has been recorded in different part of India. It's more vulnerable and subjected to attack. Indian business entities, corporates are subjected to attack, and there are other compliance as well, like GDPR and all this. If there is any breaches or any hacking with the respect of the data of other European people, European Union and others, and there's obviously questions for privacy of data with respect to Indian people and other than European people, and all these issues are in one side requires a huge need of cyber security trained persons who can be who can be a good hacker, who can be a good cyber security expert, who can be a good penetration tester, and these people are, the requirement is such a high in one side, and another side there is a huge persons, there are a huge number of newly fresh IT engineers and students, MCAs are coming up. And they want to have job and get their employment, and they want to use their brain and their technicalities into the field, and there is a gap of these implementations. And the most important from my perspective, which I think, is that India should have a specific law which will going to accept the participation of these private individual who are expert and whose expertise can be used for ethically hacking a system in order to ascertain how the hackers with a criminal mind, or how the offender who hacking the system and damaging our system and affecting our system can be caught, and an entire procedure can be properly documented, and our cyber security system will be more secure if you can use those people, and they will be doing their job in a very legal way, so that no hindrance or no unauthorized access or anything can happen when they are doing it for corporates and others after executing a non-disclosure agreement or a proper legal agreement in order to access somebody's system to pick up the flaws and vulnerability points, and that will going to help our entire system or cyber ecosystem secure enough. Thank you. With this note, requesting you to make comment in my video. If you like, then press the like button, and obviously subscribe to my channel so that you can get the other videos. Thank you.